Ladies and gentlemen, this is Intervlog. I say this is Intervlog, and I am here once more. I'm here because there is one information that has just reached us. 18 hours ago, there was an Israeli airstrike, and on that airstrike, the Hezbollah leader, Hassan Nasrallah, was hit and his life lost. If you have not heard how it happened, this is where you are going to watch how everything started until today. And you are also going to hear what people are planning from today going on, because that has created a tension in the Middle East. Israel has vowed to defend himself no matter what, and some countries in the Middle East are also trying to protest and to retaliate. The tension there is unimaginable. Therefore, let's pray that things don't escalate more than this. World, today we need peace, but let's go to tell you what is on the ground, how everything started. But our prayer is, let there be peace. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah lost his life by Israeli airstrike in Lebanon's capital Beirut. Israel's military said Saturday that it has terminated Hassan Nasrallah, the overall leader of the Iran-backed group Hezbollah, in a Friday airstrike in Beirut, Lebanon. The militant group confirmed Nasrallah's passing on, saying its longtime leader has joined his fellow martyrs. Two United States officials also confirmed Nasrallah's passing on. The afternoon strike, carried out by fighter jets, targeted the group's central headquarters, which were embedded under a residential building in Beirut's southern suburbs, according to the Israel Defense Forces. That region of the city has long been a stronghold of the U.S.-designated group. Nasrallah, who only gave speeches via video because of his fear of being eliminated, led the Hezbollah group for 30 years with fiery rhetoric. He crystallized its threats to destroy Israel and the U.S. presence in Lebanon. And his passing on now leaves a void of leadership in the strongest paramilitary force in the Middle East. In a separate statement Saturday, Israeli Army Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Herzi Halevi said Nasrallah's elimination demonstrated anyone who threatens the citizens of Israel, we will know how to reach them. The strike was the latest in a series of massive explosions targeting leaders of the militant group, which has been firing rockets and drones across Lebanon's southern border into Israel for almost a year amid the country's war with Hamas. An Israeli military official said Saturday that real-time intelligence on an operational opportunity allowed them to carry out the strike, which also eliminated Ali Karki, the commander of Hezbollah's southern front, and additional Hezbollah commanders, according to the IDF. The strike was conducted while Hezbollah's senior chain of command were operating from the headquarters and advancing activities against the citizens of the State of Israel, the IDF said. Strikes destroy residential buildings. The Friday strikes leveled multiple high-rise apartment buildings in the biggest blasts to hit the Lebanese capital since Hezbollah started firing on Israel on October 8, 2023, in response to Israel launching its war on the group's Hamas allies in the Gaza Strip. At least 11 people were lost their lives, and 108 were wounded, Lebanon's health ministry said. The toll may rise, the ministry said, as people are believed to be under the rubble. The shockwave rattled windows and shook houses some 18 miles north of Beirut, and TV footage showed several craters, one with a car toppled into it, amid collapsed buildings in the densely populated, predominantly Shiite neighborhood. A senior general in Iran's Revolutionary Guards Corps was also reportedly lost his life in the strike, Iranian state media said Saturday. General Abbas Nilfarushan, 58, had been identified as the deputy commander for operations by the U.S. Treasury. The Treasury sanctioned Nilfarushan amid the months-long protests over the loosing of Mahsa Amini after her arrest and loose life in custody, saying led an organization directly in charge of protest suppression. Nilfarushan previously served in Syria, backing President Bashar Assad amid the country's decades-long war, and in 2020, Iranian state television called him a comrade of general. Qasem Soleimani, the head of its expeditionary Quds force who was eliminated in 2020 U.S. drone attack in Baghdad. A senior Israeli official said Friday that the IDF had sought to minimize civilian casualties by striking in the daytime when many people wouldn't be home. He said Israel was not seeking a broader regional war, but that Hezbollah's military capabilities had been meaningfully degraded by the recent series of Israeli military operations, and that the objective of the strike was to leave Hezbollah with a significant leadership gap. Other Israeli strikes this week have taken lives of more than 720 people in Lebanon, including dozens of women, according to health ministry statistics. A pre-dawn strike Friday in the mainly Sunni border town of Chebaa hit a home, eliminating 9 members of the same family, the state news agency said. A resident identified the bodies as Hussein Zara, his wife Ratiba, their 5 children, and 2 of their grandchildren. The scope of Israel's operation in Lebanon remains unclear, but officials have said a ground invasion to push the militant group away from the border is a possibility. Israel has moved thousands of troops toward the border in preparation. Hopes for ceasefires dwindle. In a possible early sign of the strike's significance, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu abruptly cut short a visit to the United States to return home on Friday, instead of waiting until the end of Sabbath on Saturday evening, his office said. Israeli politicians do not normally travel on the Sabbath except for matters of great import. Hours earlier, Netanyahu addressed the UN, vowing that Israel's campaign against Hezbollah would continue, further dimming hopes for an internationally backed ceasefire. Several delegates stood up and walked out before he gave his address. The Pentagon said the U.S. had no advance warning of the strikes. The White House said President Biden was briefed by his national security team several times on Friday and has directed the Pentagon to assess and adjust as necessary U.S. force posture in the region to enhance deterrence, ensure force protection, and support the full range of U.S. objectives. He has also directed his team to ensure that U.S. embassies in the region take all protective measures as appropriate. The events of the past week and the past few hours underscore what a precarious moment this is for the Middle East and for the world, Secretary of State Antony Blinken said at a news conference Friday in New York, before Israel announced Nasrallah's elimination. Israel has the right to defend itself. The way it does so matters. The choices that all parties make in the coming days will determine which path this region is on, with profound consequences for its people now and possibly for years to come. At the UN, Netanyahu vowed to continue degrading Hezbollah until Israel achieves its goals. His comments dampened hopes for a U.S.-backed call for a 21-day truce between Israel and Hezbollah to allow time for a diplomatic solution. Hezbollah has not responded to the proposal. Iran call for support for Hezbollah. Iran's supreme leader urged all Muslims to stand by Hezbollah against Israel, but did not indicate how Tehran would respond to Nasrallah's elimination. In his first comments since Nasrallah's passing on was confirmed, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said, "It is the duty of all Muslims to stand by the people of Lebanon and Hezbollah against the occupier and suppressor regime of Israel." In a statement read on state TV, he said, "All regional resistance forces support and stand beside Hezbollah." Iran's influential Parliamentary Committee on National Security met Saturday and demanded a strong response to Israel, state TV reported. Meanwhile, Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani declared a 3-day mourning period in his country. Sudani came to power with the backing of a coalition of Iran-backed political factions, many of which have armed wings that are allied with Hezbollah. Hezbollah said in a statement that it vows to continue the war against the enemy and in support of Palestine. Iranian-backed Hezbollah, the strongest armed force in Lebanon, began firing rockets into Israel almost immediately after Hamas's October 7 attack. Since then, Hezbollah and the Israeli military have traded fire almost daily, forcing tens of thousands of people to flee their homes on both sides of the border. An Israeli security official said he expects a possible war against Hezbollah would not last for as long as the current war in Gaza, because the Israeli military's goals are much narrower. The Palestinian militant group Hamas, in a statement, issued condolences to its ally. Nasrallah frequently described launching rockets against northern Israel as a support front for Hamas and Palestinians in Gaza. In Gaza, Israel aims to dismantle Hamas's military and political regime, but the goal in Lebanon is to push Hezbollah away from the border with Israel. Not a high bar like Gaza, in terms of operational objectives, said the official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity due to military briefing guidelines. The tension there is unimaginable. Therefore, let's pray that things don't escalate more than this. In the world today, what we need is peace. Our prayer is, let there be peace everywhere, so that the next generation will not continue the fight they will meet. This is the end of our program today. See you on Intervlog, same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you for watching Intervlog. Thank you.